Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I too have concern about the mandatory funding because it sounds like it's mandatory. You know, for the folks back home or don't understand Washington speak and budget lingo and the way words mean what they don't mean in Washington, they either have no meaning or they have a different meaning. Mandatory means it's mandatory if we get the revenue, and that's going to be a stretch in the short time allocated. So, but I believe that the hallmark of this committee has been the B word, bipartisan, working together, and also here a balanced space program, assuring human space exploration, space science, aeronautics, and a reliable going out into space transportation system. I think if we stay on our balanced system, I think we can be able to get through it. Mr. Director, I know this too is your last time before this subcommittee or last scheduled time. I want to thank you for your service, both as a Marine Corps officer, as an astronaut, and now the leadership that you've helped provide at NASA. You've literally been in the line of fire and going where no people have gone on many occasions now. I want to get to the question about space science and the James Webb Telescope. It's got to go right. You know, this committee was able to fix the Hubble, and it performed in a stunning way. The Hubble telescope not only brought us great science, it brought us great prestige, and it also was an inspiration to young people. But we don't have the money now to go back and fix the James Webb. So my question to you is, number one, are we on track for the James Webb to go? Because if it makes it, and I believe it can and it must, it will secure America's space in astronomy for the next 50 years. So are we managing the project to maintain a 2018 launch risk? Do you have adequate resources to prevent problems and including a schedule reserve? Because if it breaks, I'm not so sure we can fix it.
Senator, as I promised you when we met some years ago, when I came before this committee, or I came before you to admit that we had James Webb in trouble, that we were underfunded and we had overestimated our ability to deliver a 2014 launch then. The agreement that we made was that we would go back and take a look at it and bring you what we thought were reliable numbers. We are now well on course to deliver the James Webb Space Telescope to orbit in October of 2018. We have about a 7.5 month, pad is a bad word to use, but contingency reserve in terms of time on the schedule. So that means that we have the funds available to get it off on time. So in a simple word, yes, we will deliver James Webb to its position, you know, 1.5 million kilometers from Earth in October of 2018.
Well, maybe we'll go to that together, but
hopefully we will.
It's got to work. It's got to work. On a very bread and butter issue, I'm going to bring up the issue of satellite servicing. As you know, this is being developed at Goddard Space Agency. Last year, we provided $138 million for satellite servicing to support the Restore mission to demonstrate the ability to refuel and on-orbit government science satellites, which be not only us, but it could mean refurbishing things like the weather satellites, where all they take is either a new nudge to an orbit where they've drifted out or to refuel. I'm concerned that we have reduced the funding for satellite servicing in fiscal 17, and we're also going to rely on a mandatory request. Could you tell us where we are in satellite servicing, because it would be important for, one, jobs at Goddard, you know, open and transparent here. And the second, though, is it will really help refurbish other government satellites and also could be an opportunity for lucrative and productive private sector work. Those companies in Maryland that build satellites say if we could refurbish, we could save money and yet maintain productivity. Could you share?
Yes, ma'am, I can. And I think, you know, what you and I have discussed before is a program called Restore L that is being headed up by the Goddard Space Flight Center. It is in formulation right now, and we have put $130 million toward the Restore L program. We have moved it out of the Human Exploration and Operations Mission Directorate and into Space Technology, which is a place where it probably better fits. We've had to make some sacrifices in space technology with some of the programs that we are now not able to do or won't be able to do on time. But we're well on the way to delivering Restore L and the satellite servicing mission. The other thing that we're getting from it is finding synergies with the asteroid redirect mission, which is something that is a part of our journey to Mars, if you will. So we're finding that in working with industry and academia and entrepreneurs, that we are learning a lot and we're gaining a lot by working on Restore L. It is another thing that Restore L has done. When you look back on the lessons that are learned from previous shuttle missions, some people will remember a mission where we attempted to go and save a spent upper stage rocket using a probe, if you will, looked like a jousting stick, to go up the end of the rocket and bring it back to the shuttle and then eventually back to Earth. As a result of the preliminary work we've been doing on satellite servicing, Orbital ATK now, working with a company called Vivisat, right out in Beltsville, Maryland, has developed a satellite servicing device that we think will, when teamed with Restore L, will be able to cover, industry will be able to cover.
See, that's my whole
geosynchronous
point.
orbit.
It's government and industry together in
Exactly.
this country.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Administrator, we could go through a lot of the line item questions, but I'm concerned about America and its future. I'm concerned about where the jobs going to be, where are young people going to work, are these going to be jobs that pay living wages? And therefore, this is why I'm a big believer in American innovation. You and I talked about what generation we are from. We've seen great discovery, great jobs. But I will tell you, the anger we see in America right now is directly tied to the loss of jobs, as well as the loss of confidence in our institution. So my question to you is, how do you see this budget closing the innovation deficit? Or the innovation, how are we, what is it that we're doing? Senator Capito's question is this science for science sake, which is a worthy goal, but where's it all going to take us? At NASA, Goddard, and the Space Telescope Institute, we have 3 Nobel Prize winners. Dr. Giacconi, a founder of the Space Telescope Institute, Dr. Mather at Goddard, Dr. Adam Rees, who just won the Nobel Prize in physics. We win the Nobel Prizes, but I'm going to win the markets. I'm going to win the markets. So where do you see 2 things? What are we promoting in innovation? And essentially, what is in this budget and what is in your strategic plan for transfer to do in this administration and transfer to the next, whoever that might be, tech transfer, so we win the prizes, but we win the markets, and our young people see that they have a future where we are going to continue to make something and make something of ourselves.
If you look at the budget, inside the Human Exploration Mission Directorate there is a line item that's called Habitation Systems. And under Habitation Systems are a number of lesser projects that are all technology development, innovation to help us be able to get humans to Mars. Another one of those things in that is called Next Step. And that's, I want to say, 12 individual contracts that we let over this last year. Among them, as a matter of fact, is some work to shore up the laboratory for Dr. Franklin Chang Diaz with a Vasimer engine. So we're talking about advanced in-space propulsion. So I think we are actually making small investments, incremental investments in American industry, but more importantly, in small businesses and entrepreneurial entities that are going to keep us on the cusp of being the innovation leaders in the world. I mentioned to you earlier, and hopefully every member of the committee has a copy of our little flyer on the future of flight, or what we call New Aviation Horizons. This is all fueling the engine of innovation in the aeronautics community, the largest balance of trade item in this nation. The reason that we are so excited about this, the reason that American industry is so excited about it, is because it's returning NASA to the position where we are the leaders in aeronautics research and development, and we are, again, going to provide for more jobs, fuel the economy, and keep us in front of everybody else in the world.
Well, thank you very much. We have to stand up for the future.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Mikulski.